and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy New Year. It's good to have you. I am Crystal and I'm looking forward to more beautiful conversations with new friends this year and catching up with old friends too. Now we happen to be at the Kibo Lounge at Machame Health Club in Naguru. It's a nice little spot. You need to check it out. And my guest today does so many things. Now she's the business development manager at the Vision Group. She's a reading enthusiast, a keynote speaker, the president of Project Girls for Girls book club, and also the CEO of Klaire's Life Makeovers. So today I have Klaire Komakech joining me. Hello.
Hello, Crystal.
How are you doing, Klaire?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am fine.
Thanks for welcoming me here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you. How is your busy life?
It's busy. I'm organizing the first education expo.
Okay.
In the country. You know, we've had a number of small bazaars here and there, back to school. But during COVID-19, the sector that was most hit after health was education. And we felt that we needed to have conversations around education and bring all different stakeholders into one space, and that's where the idea behind the education expo. So we're bringing together different universities, early learning education, different stakeholders.
So it's all through,
all
right
through.
From you said like
the banks, insurance, anyone who is interested in the expo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's happening on the 27th to 26th.
Okay.
Of January. Yeah, just 2 weeks away.
Oh,
so
and this is the first ever.
It's a first
education
ever.
expo. I haven't heard of an education expo before.
So we've organized the Harvest Money, the agriculture one.
Yes, many times.
Yeah, we're going to have it in Feb. So it's grown over 6 years. This is the 7th. Yeah, so bride and groom.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a bit of experience in that field.
Okay.
But we're very excited about creating this because you will agree that everyone is affected by education.
Yes.
Whether you have children, you're going back to school, you're interested in being a service provider. There's so much that people can learn.
Yeah, and like you said, those 2 years we fell behind.
Yeah.
And people lost track, lost connections.
Our children were out of school, and the government introduced a new system of education, the new curriculum. Yeah, trying to bring in the skilling and
a bridge curriculum. I believe.
So that's something that we want to discuss.
I feel a lot of people don't really have an understanding about that as
well. Most people they're still asking about the positions of the child. We want to see what position is the child in class. So
the way things used to be.
Yes. So the child brings a report and you're like, what position are you? You know, what
it's
did
just
you
the
get?
progress.
Yes, just the progress, tracking the progress. So parents should come because the experts are going to be there to try and break it down and explain in simple language how they can track the performance of the students and the advantages of this new system of learning.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're, as a business development manager, that's your 8 to 5, I guess.
Yes, it is.
How long have you been with the Vision Group?
15 years. 15 years. This year, I celebrate 15.
It's a very big part of your life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's actually my home. My home, yes.
When did you join? In what department? How did you join?
I've held 4 roles.
Okay.
I joined in editorial.
Okay.
As a graphic designer, and then I left editorial, went to sales as a chief designer that's heading the team, and then I went to I switched careers to sales, left graphics, went into sales, actual money. I was plugged in by the money.
That's where the money was.
That's where the money was. So I went to sales as an advertising manager, heading a team of salespeople. And then I was promoted to business development manager.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been my journey, 15 years.
When we chatted before, you said, you did graphics design.
Yeah.
You loved art
and
something that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then you felt that, you needed something different.
Yeah.
What was happening at that point?
I think I was going through a transition on a personal level, but also um, in terms of my own headspace. I needed to connect. I wanted to change what I was doing from the normal grind, of, you're like, you come, you design, but I wanted more. I wanted to connect with people more. And I had that experience because I was dealing with agencies. They would bring in their artworks. I would use my skill in graphics to advise them on what to do, what advert would sell. So I felt at that point that there's more that I can give. Beyond my own personal space, there's more I could contribute to the company. Yeah, and also on my own private life, I had started a business. So yes, I had started a business on a private level, and I was getting clients. So I knew how to pitch. I knew how to negotiate. So I felt that I could contribute more to the company.
It wasn't really allowing you to grow.
No. It was the same routine, different clients, same routine. But right now, I get to negotiate, I get to think, I get to discuss, I get to convince, I get to make sales, contribute more to the company. Okay. Yeah, Crystal, sometimes we stay in roles because that's what we applied for. But now I usually tell people I interact with, especially the young people, even if you are at a reception in a company, you need, if you're to grow, you need to look for opportunities. In addition to being a receptionist, can you coordinate an event? Yes. Can you help with taking minutes in a meeting? Can you do more? Yeah, that's where our growth comes from. Yeah, you need to be able to do much more than the role that you are hired to do. When I shifted, I had all this, oh my God, it's going to be a new life, new experience. And
I'm going to do a lot of convincing
to get the job. No. I was already managing a team, and I had been told that I could. This is a management role, so I could just grow into it. I would learn how to sell, but really, it's about organizing these people, advising them on where to go, where the money is, and all that. So I felt it's something that can be done, really. But from my first experience, from the first engagements I had with them, it was hard because I had been selling for 15 years. Some had been there 20 years. Yes. So they were experts in what they do. And in media, you're not selling this beautiful cup, an actual product. You're selling a service. I'll tell you, Crystal, if you put a full page in my ad, a full page in the newspaper, you're going to pay me 9.9 million. Guess what? Whatever you're selling is going to sell out. So I have to have the convincing tongue that putting you out there is going to position you well in front of the audiences that you seek to serve. So it's different. It's a different style of selling that you need to cultivate. So the first meetings, I was clueless, Crystal. I was clueless. You sit and they wait. So you start asking, managers, you start asking them, where are you going today? And with time, 1-2 meetings, they're like, yeah. So I found, I used to dread the meetings. And so I went into the manager role. When you go into the manager role, you start, if Crystal says that I can't come to the meeting, my child is sick, I'm like, what do you mean your child is sick? Okay. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean your child is sick? You must be here. I have children. I'm here. Or someone comes and says, my maid has left. I'm like, you're just not organized. You must have plan B. Okay. This is a job.
Unhealthy management.
Unhealthy management. So I found that was not effective. Then I started learning. I said, I'm going to learn. I'm going to go back and read. How can I do this better? Because sales is a game of numbers. You may say too many things and all that, but at the end of the day, the company needs money. You need to meet the targets. And the targets are in billions of shillings. Yeah. And you deliver through the team. And they've been good at what they're doing. So you need to be able
doing it for a
long time. So I went into reading, And I learned to lead with compassion.
Yeah.
I didn't learn it in school. I learned it in books through reading.
Okay.
So if someone came and told me that my child is sick, I would understand. Yeah, I would understand, and then I would go beyond that. I would check on them the next day. How is the child?
Yes.
Sometimes I would go to the hospital to see the child. And what that did for my work is that eventually people started understanding that this is Klaire's style of leading. When you lead from the heart,
Yes.
people deliver. Now, just a few months down the road, after I had changed my style of leadership, it took a while. I'm summarizing all these into,
I know.
but it took a while. It took a while for me to change, for the team to trust me.
It takes a lot of humility to
yes,
also get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let me take a moment and start to learn.
Yes. So what happens now is that even when I'm still at home making up they're already sitting waiting for me. That's a kind of commitment that I had when I changed my style of leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, so from compassionate leadership, I was able to understand, even when someone's not meeting their quotas, I'll be able to help them. Yeah, you instead of having, where are you going, what's your target, who are you meeting, I started talking to people about what would you want in this year. And some of them would say things like, I want to stop renting. Or so you want to stop renting, you want to build your own house. How much money is needed for that kind of project? And someone will tell you, I need 100 million. And I'm like, you can achieve 100 million by getting, 10 million per month through sales. This is the kind of commission you can get. So you use their personal dreams and personal desires to achieve your corporate goal. Your corporate goal. So you nurture the team using their own ambitions and their own dreams. And it has worked.
Yeah.
It has worked.
That sounds amazing, because a lot of people separate the two.
Yeah.
They separate their personal dreams and goals and then
possible.
work life. Yet that has to feed into.
No, it has to feed in. It has to feed in. Crystal, even if you ask, why do you work? Why do you come to work? That the person will tell you, for my children. Yes. So to get school fees, to provide for my home. Why do you think it's going to be different? They don't give a damn about your bottom line. It's about me and the things I want to achieve in my own space. I don't come to work every day so I can be the best manager. That is second. Yeah. First, I want to provide. I want to provide for my home. So,
and also we've learned that if your home life is a mess, you're not going to be productive at work.
Yeah, and from my own experience, I have learned. Yeah, from my own experience, I had a gap of around 10 years raising my children, and it was not easy. It was not easy. Like I told you before, they were prematures. So beyond, by the time it's 3 months, and you have to go back to work, they're just getting to be newborn babies.
Yes,
you understand?
pretty much.
They're now getting to 3 kgs. Babies are born at 3 kgs, but mine at 3 months are now reaching 3 kgs. You understand? And you have to leave this tiny little thing with a maid. Crystal, how do you expect me to be 100% in the office? I will tell you I'm there. But the truth is, I'm thinking, every
Your mind.
every toilet break, I'm calling the maid and saying, has he taken his milk? How is the temperature? Is he okay? Is he, active? So we cannot separate these two. Many, we're heading towards Women's Day, and many people say, Crystal, come and tell us about work-life balance. How do you do it all?
What's that? Doesn't exist.
Yeah, so it's not possible to separate the two. If there is a mess at home, most likely it's going to spill over. And the danger is, with women, we want to separate the two.
Yeah.
We really want to put up this face that, you know what, I'm perfect at home, and, and that's how I ended up with Klaire's Life Makeovers.
Oh.
Yes, because I felt that once people are organized at home, in their own home space, you definitely bring that organization into the corporate space.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So
So this was after you'd had your babies?
Yes.
So tell me about your babies.
Oh, I tell you. Oh, I have 4 babies.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 babies. There's Abigail, and Abigail, Aaron, Angel, and Andrew.
Oh,
2 boys, 2 yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, from my husband Alan. Yes. So
okay.
yes. So I named them A's.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first baby was Abigail was born at the accurate time. Full term, 9 months.
Yes.
Then the rest were born at 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Medical issue, but they were.
All of them?
Yes.
Like, did you have triplets or?
No. Different.
Okay.
One pregnancy after
so every
another.
pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you find that I'm at work, I'm doing my own thing, and the labor comes.
Wow.
The baby has to come out, and he's 1 kg.
Oh wow.
Very, very tiny. So
I would
spend,
little.
yeah, I'd spend time in the incubators, feeding them through the tubes, and I give that story because it shows the kind of workplace that I have, the bosses that I had who would understand. It's very important that you understand what people are going through, and they were very, very considerate in terms of the giving me flexible working hours in order to take care of the children. Yeah, so they are now grown. Abigail is making 18 years. 18, 16, 12, 11, yes. So they've grown.
But that takes
it has
a lot
changed.
from you as
Yes,
a mother.
yes, it does. It does because there's a strength that every woman has. But you cannot get that strength until you go through something like that. Yeah. And when you have these babies and you have no control, you're doing your best, but you are not the author of life. Yeah, you're not the author of life. At the end of the day, just like COVID taught us, even with the amount of money and what oxygen, you just simply have to rely on God for life.
There was no formula.
Yeah, and from there I learned some habits like gratitude every single day, and affirmations, positive affirmations, and the fact that they have so much power, the things that we say to our children. And many people say very bad things to their children, very bad. You're stupid.
Yes, they're careless with their tongues.
Yeah, you're not good enough. You know, and these things actually take root. Even when a child is not hearing, these things take root, and they later manifest in their lives as toxic. You know, the things you worried about when you try to discipline the boy at a young age, he grows up and he's a total mess. But you kept on hounding him. You keep breaking things. You know, you're disorganized. You never amount to anything. You're not like your brother. You're not like your sister.
She's feel like organized. That's one of the worst things that parents do without understanding.
Yes.
Because all our children are different. They have different strengths.
Exactly.
They have different paths later in life.
Yeah.
Why can't you be like so and so?
Yes. So we do that a lot to our children, and it's a very big disservice in their lives at a young age, and also as they grow up. So it's very, very important that we change our tongue. We change the things that we say to them.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about, watch your tongue, but watch your tongue towards yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not just you.
True. But there's a lot of self-talk that we have.
Yeah.
Crystal, as women.
Yeah.
Earlier we were talking about our weight and all that.
Exactly.
So yes, so you find that every single time you're like, I'm not good enough, I'm not talented, I cannot do this, I can't do that, I can't be like Crystal, I can't do. So that the negative talk that we have every single day is limiting us. It's limiting us to the different opportunities that we may have out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how exactly did Klaire's life makeover start?
Okay. First, I've always wanted beautiful spaces. But beyond that, I wanted to be organized in my own space because of the children I was raising. When you leave hospital, you are in a bubble. You're in a room, the child is in an incubator, everything is sterilized. You know, everything is perfect, everything is clean. There's no infection. Everyone comes in, no shoes, no what. But when you get home, yeah, when you get home, the drama that is at home, the junk, the hoarding, yes. So the doctor preps you and says, I'm leaving you this baby, but their lives are in your hands. Make sure that your home is clean, spotless, yeah? Be organized. And so because I was leaving the babies with a caretaker at home, I had to leave things Pampers counted, you know Milton, the Milton tablet?
Yes.
Sterilizing that, because they tell you don't boil the bottles, instead sterilize them.
Yes.
Because you're not sure of whether the boiling is enough after they've boiled the hands that have held.
I remember I used Milton, the liquid.
Yeah, the liquid. And so that time I didn't have the electronic sterilizer, so I used to use the Milton. So that kind of system really helped me, that these babies never got an infection throughout. But it was very, very intentional. So from that time, I learned that this can work. This can work if we are organized. You get to work organized. You know, when you know where your keys are, when you know where the other sock is. You know, I used to take my children to school, and you get to the gate, and he didn't want to get out of the car.
Okay.
And he's like, I forgot my set. And you're like, what do you mean?
Children do this.
Get out of the car.
What do you mean? I forgot my bag.
Yeah, I forgot.
What?
You forgot your homework. You forgot your pencils. You forgot. Oh my God. And you'll be so mad the whole day. First of all, you've screamed at the child in front of the gate, you know. But it shows that you're not organized at home. If you're not organized.
Because you're not paying attention.
You're not paying
You're
attention.
the parent.
Yeah. Maybe it's the maid doing everything. So I decided, no, I can do this. So from my own trying to organize my children to go to school, it was like military. Hankies
It sounds
ironed.
like it.
Yeah, hankies ironed into pockets, you know, signing homework in the evening and making sure I have excess pencils, I have excess pens, I have, you know, so in case he needs a rubber, in case he needs this, because these are 4 children.
Yeah.
Remember, there are 4 children that I'm taking to school. So I had to be organized. So I created systems. Yeah, I created systems that helped me for my, you know, own sanity. Yeah, and with time we found that the fights were less, you know, the screaming was less. Why? Because you wake up in the morning, the uniforms are ironed.
Everything is organized.
Everything is organized. I used to iron in the morning. Yeah, I used to iron in the morning and all that. So it started from the children, from their childhood, and then organizing them for school. And then I said, no, I think I can make this a business. It has worked for me. I think there's some other person who needs this, because you could see the drama when people come to office.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of
You're
excuses.
confused. You're huffing and you're puffing.
You're puffing and you're late and all that. And so I felt that by starting this business, I'll be able to help other women get organized, and hopefully it contributes to their work in the corporate space.
Did you ever watch a show called Clean House?
Yes, I did.
Oh my
gosh,
I did. That show traumatized me. Because it finally made sense how emotionally you're stuck, because all around you there's clutter. And it's like you can't even imagine how to dig yourself out of this mess.
Yeah. We keep blue band, you know.
Piles of newspapers. Piles
of newspapers. We keep all these things.
And even these disposable containers.
Exactly.
Like, why are you keeping them?
Cafe Javas gives you a container and you're like, I couldn't use this.
I might use it.
I might use it. They say it's microwave friendly, so you take it home. You take it home. So we have a certain kind of hoarding. Yeah. Hoarding, you know. I work for media. So you find that newspapers are in my drawers, you know, that kind of things. And newspapers have friends. You know the friends? The cockroaches.
The cockroaches. Yes.
You know, so when
even the rats.
And the rats and all that. So I've been doing this for a while. And you find that we have the same challenges. We are not intentional with the things that we keep. And the things that we dispose. Yeah. So when I'm helping a client organize their home, we do like a 20-point, 20-point checkup on, for example, our kitchen. When I enter into your kitchen, I look at the drawers. Do you have proper drawer liners? Because when you have newspapers and someone puts a wet cup and all that, eventually it goes through your drawers and destroys them.
Sticks
and and destroys them. So when you have those that are wipeable, those that can be washed, they are much better.
Yeah.
So we go through the drawers. I tell you, do you have a proper dustbin, or you don't have a proper dustbin? How are the tea towels? How do they look? Have you differentiated the ones that, dry the cups and the ones that clean the countertop?
The counters, yeah.
Yes. Do you have where to put the sugar, or it's still in its cavera? Or, you fold it and put a peg or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have proper containers, storage containers? Where do you keep your dry food? Where do you keep your cereals? So we do an inventory of the things that you need. But first of all, just like in our lives, if you're to make changes, you first declutter. Everything must go.
Yeah.
And start from scratch. So we take out
Isn't that
everything.
a challenge for people?
It is.
Because I feel like there's some trauma along the way of
Yeah.
maybe you had so little growing up.
Yeah.
It's so hard for you to throw things away.
Yes. But in most cases, people don't know any better. They don't know any better.
Okay.
I've grown up storing my bins like this. Is there any other way? Yeah? Is there any other way I can keep these onions? Is there any other way I can keep salt? If I buy my spices, I want to see my spices, tea masala, in their original packs.
Yes.
But it's a rainbow of colors. If you really use your kitchen, you'll find that you have 20 spices, and they're all over, the colors are too many. But if you find that Klaire is coming to my home and she's bringing a rotating spice rack, she's going to label for me. She's going to, I'll be able to see whether it's left with a little for me to refill. So when you introduce these systems, people are like, oh my God, I didn't know. I didn't know this could work.
Yeah.
I just thought my maid was dirty. That's why all my tea towels look brown. I'm like, no, you did not differentiate that she's supposed to use this for the floor or for the cup. You'd be shocked. Or for, so...
Really?
Yes. Are you there?
So the same one drying the dishes down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you think the tea towel looks like the rag on the floor? You understand? So we give our house helps too much power. You've just picked her from...
train them
You don't
properly
train them
also.
properly.
Yeah.
So she's seeing the tea towel for the first time. She's seeing the cooker for the first time. She's seeing the fridge for the first time. Yeah. And we assume that she's supposed to keep it clean. No, you start from scratch.
Yeah.
Start from scratch. And I've learned that you need to do it yourself. So she sees how you do it. It can be done. Cleaning a fridge can be done in 10 minutes. So it's not such a chore when you tell her it's time to clean the fridge. She knows Auntie cleaned out and she was done.
You plan ahead, you switch it off,
Yes,
allow it to thaw out if you have to.
Exactly. But also I've read some books that have helped me understand a new type of how to organize. One is the attachment we give, for example, to clothes. Is that dress still serving you?
I feel like that's something so many women are guilty of. You buy more, but you don't give away the
so
things.
Marie Kondo, I don't know whether you've heard about her. She wrote a book and she has a YouTube channel, and she talks about when you're folding your clothes, what's the emotion? Yeah, what's the emotion when you're folding? Do you still love this dress? Does it still serve you? If that emotional connection is no longer there, you dispose of it. But if you look at this blouse and you say, wow, I'll make presentations in this dress. I see myself doing an interview in this dress. I think it still looks good on me. When I wear it, I feel empowered. Now, this is something that you need to keep. Yeah. And then, I think it's also an African thing that we have, that we are supposed to get. Yeah? We need to learn how to give. Yeah?
True.
Learn how to give. Earlier, I used to have a business. It was Angel's World. And Angel's World was, I used to sell toys toys and kids' clothing and all that. So I had a number of toys. Now, remember these prematures? As they grew up, they became pampered babies. Don't touch,
Of course.
don't cry, you want this toy. So I had a house full of toys.
You can give them everything they need in that space.
So I bring stock for the shop, and I ask my kids, select what you want first. Yeah, you select, So you choose, and kids will choose a bit of everything. So you find that my house was like a toy store. Guests could come, and the toys everywhere, chairs everywhere. I even had a bouncing, these bouncing castles that have balls, like 80 balls, 100.
In the house?
In the house. I had it in my sitting room. So, until a friend of mine came home, and she was like, really, Claire, I know you have 4 babies, but this is not acceptable. How can your house look like this? It wasn't dirty, but it was full of toys.
It was full of clutter.
Clutter. It was actually clutter. So from that time I said, you know what? I had a discussion with my kids. I said, now choose the toys that you're still using.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this, no, this, no. I don't touch this.
And you're the one who was, looking at them like, oh, my child loves this.
They need to have all these new toys and all that. So, and the last born, Andrew, he just said, I want Lego only. Everything else, truck, what? I don't need it. So we removed all the trains and the trucks and everything. And children, you teach the children that this is enough. You can use these toys to bless someone else.
Yeah.
And we gave those toys away. And they brought joy into other kids' lives. So we also need to do that.
Yeah.
Every year, you're like, okay, I'm not going to spoil on clothing, but really, I've kept this cloth for the longest time.
Sometimes we also make the mistake of, no, I'm going to lose weight. I will fit back in those clothes.
Crystal, when I got married, I was 45 kgs.
Huh?
Hey, don't ask about the current weight, but I was 40.
That's really, have I ever been 45 kgs?
Yes, I got married when I was 24 years. Yeah, so I was really, really, really small. But with the children and the what and the excuses.
And just life.
I'm like, no, what? So wait. But I kept the clothes. Yeah, until I was like, Claire, you'll never be 50 again. Let's just agree. Yeah. Those jeans must go. They must go. So I had it. It wasn't easy, but I was like, you know what? This can't close anymore.
Yeah.
This can't close, and it will not close. So.
You also find that people have suitcases full of clothes in there that they are going to wear or I don't know what, and you never get to them because they're not visible.
Yes.
You don't need them.
And it moves away from and especially with the children.
Yeah.
With the children. When my daughter was young, Angel, the boutique was named after her. So I used to make sure that she has a new cloth every Sunday at church, like matching shoes, matching ribbon, leggings and all that.
Oh, wow.
Spoiled.
That's dedication.
Spoiled. So she had so much stuff, so much. And Crystal, we don't hoard for ourselves. We find that we're hoarding for the children.
Yeah. Maybe they'll.
Yeah, she looks good in this pink thing, but she has grown. Why are you keeping onesies? Your child is in nursery. What are the overalls doing in the drawers?
That's so important. Oh my gosh, when my son was, I think, 5, I suddenly realized I have no babies. Why do I still have baby clothes? And the towels, and all the little, and you're like, oh.
Now, the blankets. I stayed with the blankets for the longest time. Now, because they were prematures, I had all these warm. I had so much. But getting them out of my house was so hard. So I have these discussions with my clients, and I'm like, I'm coming into your home, but we need to understand why we're doing this. We need to redeem this space again. We need to redeem your children's bedrooms, your master bedroom. Things are not working, but maybe it's because you still have the blanket that you are given on your kuhinjira,
Oh my.
15 years later, 10 years later. We need to...
That's your space, you should make it.
It was a gift from the parents. Oh. Yes, it was a gift from the parents. So you keep it forever. So we have these discussions. And you're like, okay, yes, it was a gift. Okay, we're not throwing it away. Can it go to the guest room, maybe? Yes. Let us bring some spice back into this bedroom.
Yeah.
You know. So we look at what you want to achieve in that space and how it can transform not only your space but also your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we redo this bedroom? Because sometimes it's the men who whisper to me. Yeah. They're like, Claire, I saw your flyer. Can you pass by my home?
Wow.
Yes, because some of these men go for retreats, they go to hotels, they travel, they stay in these hotels, and they wonder why their bedroom can't be the same. Yeah. What is so hard? Why can't my wife keep this room, you know, as organized as it is in the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes we have allowed ourselves to just let go of these things.
True.
Yeah. So my business goes beyond just making up the spaces. That's why it's life
Life makeovers.
not home makeover. Yeah.
Because there's no point also coming in and you do all that work and someone just goes right back.
Most times they go right back. They go right back. So I always tell them I'm going to do a spot check. A spot check. And they're like, no, Claire, we're doing well, we're doing well. Yeah. And the biggest challenge is that we have this conversation with the mom, but we don't have it with the children. We don't have it with the rest of the family. So you find that she has struggled, she has paid me, she's tried to organize this, but the children, you didn't tell them.
Yeah.
Why should we be
so
organized?
she gets so frustrated.
Yeah. And I also have sessions for the children where I explain to the children why we're doing what we're doing. So we start up with very soft rules. One can be there's nothing on the floor. Can we agree?
Yes.
That we are not going to have anything on the floor, no towels, no, you know. And then the next thing you're like, we are going to create a home for everything. So there is no fork.
Because storage really sorts out most of these issues.
There's no, why is the fork under your pillow? Or why is the cup under your bed? Why is the plate, you know? So you find that there are things that you find under there. Why? Because you have allowed the children to eat in their bedrooms. So we come up with rules that no more eating.
Yeah, no food in the bedroom.
No food in the bedrooms. Yeah, so don't introduce so many things that nothing's going to be done. You introduce one rule every like 2 months. This one rule, nothing on the floor. These kids learn. They actually understand these things because they're done. There's a kindergarten system that I use. And the kindergarten system says everything has a home.
Yes.
And the kids know that. At school, when they use the crayons have a home.
Yes, and they clean up. They know you have to tidy up.
Yes, they clean up and take back. But these systems stay in school, but they don't come in our home. So if you bring it at home and you say everything has a home, yeah, the boxers go here, you know, your leggings go here, the dresses go here, you know. These kids understand.
Yeah.
Yes. So I also introduced a folding board that helps. You know how you pile things over and you haven't, you know, organized them well. So with a folding board, it's similar to something that you find in new shirts. When you fold, when you fold all your clothes alongside the folding board, it means that their shape is the same. And it's easier for you to see. So we have systems. Instead of piling clothes like that in a drawer, we pile them like this. And we pile, for example, if you're organizing for boys, the graphic or pattern on the t-shirt is the one on top. So if they're looking for Spider-Man, they'll find Spider-Man very easily.
Yeah.
Instead
of pulling everything
I'm looking
out.
for the Spider-Man thing, I'm looking for the Spider-Man thing. If the graphics are on top, the child will pull out that, you know. And I always encourage them, keep the children involved, not the house help. Yeah? Give them those chores that, yes, she might fold all the clothes, bring them in, but it's your role to put them in because I have told you what to do.
Yes.
And these things actually help you later in life. Yeah, because you find, even on campus, Crystal, you know, that you had roommates who would never lay their beds. You had, you know, even in office.
They wouldn't remove their sheets.
Even in office, you find someone's cubicle is all over, papers everywhere. They can't find a report, they can't find an invoice, but it starts from they have not created systems. Yeah. So as mothers, we need to help. Yeah. These boys.
Children are different, so sometimes you have to work more with some than the others.
Yeah. True. True.
So all this, I mean, I'm listening to you talking about these systems. I mean, you don't have a background in education. You're talking about the kindergarten system.
No, I don't.
And the fact that you're a reading enthusiast. One of the things that you said that stood out to me was you wish you knew earlier
Yeah. Yeah.
what was available in books. When did you start actually reading?
Yeah. I started reading just to help me with my team.
Okay.
Like I told you earlier.
The sales team.
The sales team. That's when I went deep into reading. I'm not a bookworm. Most people assume I'm a bookworm. Like in school, you are a bookworm. No. I didn't like reading. I really didn't.
Not even fiction?
No. I wasn't into reading, really. But I used to like comics like Tintin.
Ooh,
Now,
Asterix.
Asterix. I had those ones. And I passed on the love to my children. I have all the different Tintin in Congo and all that. I have them. I buy them in Aristoc every time they bring a new one. And I don't know now it's in full color. Oh my God. It's amazing. So I always buy them. So I used to read kind of simple stuff.
Yeah.
But when I changed careers, that's when I started reading. First of all, to learn how to do my job.
Okay.
Yeah. But as I started reading for my job, I was like, no, if I read more, if I read other books, you know, I could learn more. I could learn more. Because I was going through a transition. So one of the authors I read a lot was John C. Maxwell. So I went and got, someone told me that the best books on leadership and the leadership guru is John C. Maxwell. So I went and got many of his books, and I started reading different books about leadership. Now, one of the interviews, just similar to these, that I think Oprah did with the CEO of LinkedIn, he was chosen, in the entire US, he was chosen as the most loved CEO.
Okay.
It's hard to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
Hard to achieve that. So from listening to that interview, I was like, how does someone get to that level? That everyone, out of a survey, yeah, from different organizations, your organization, Crystal, your organization scored you 100 out of 100. In all perimeters. So I listened to that interview, and you need to listen to it.
I'm
and
going
that's
to look
how
for it.
Yeah, and that's how I learned about compassionate leadership.
Yes.
That even when he's firing, even when he's firing you, it's from a compassionate, yeah, a compassionate style. He explained how he does it, leading from the heart, you know. So when I listened to this interview, I was like, no, I must read more. I must read more. I wish people could read more because there's so much information. And sometimes we think that these leaders have risen to that role because someone has handed these things to them.
Or they have supernatural abilities.
Yes, supernatural, super talented. No, there are things that they have gone through. Yeah, but I've talked a lot about my own life. But in this learning journey that I'm still on, I don't want to do it alone. I want to share. I want to share with other women some of the things I've learned, whether it's in organizing my home, whether it's in my team. There are people who are struggling with teams right now. Yeah, there are people who want to resign because you fail to manage a team. You're like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. The sky is falling. I need to leave this job and go for some other job.
Yeah.
You know, this is a difficult team. These are people who they are not cultured. They're not what. There are ways you can do this. There's a culture you can introduce, the culture that you envision for that team. And how do you do that? All these things are written in books, Crystal. They are written in books. If people would just do it. Yeah.
And now there are options, there are audio books. I mean, you don't have to sit down with a physical copy every time.
And the beauty of YouTube channels just like yours, where you get to hear people's stories, there is power in stories.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there is power in stories. There is power in hearing stories. So sometimes people hear my story and they're like, Claire, I have a relative who has prematures and she's about to give up. And they're like, no. So I get to meet these people. I show them my kids' photos. I said, no, these kids will be okay. I give them hope. I give them hope.
Yeah.
So we need to give back. Yeah, beyond just edifying ourselves and making ourselves better and reading for our own growth.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to serve other people. And when you talk about the different things that I'm doing, you find that I want to serve, not just to make money.
Yeah.
I want to serve at the end of the day.
Okay.
I want to see someone's life getting better because they've interacted with me.
So is that what pushed you to start the book club?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because I had learned a lot from reading, and I knew that many women don't have the reading culture. Even in a room, you just ask, what book are you reading now? Why, as in, when was the last time you read? And they'll be honest.
Yeah.
I tell you, reading.
Like, I don't have time. Isn't that the excuse?
There is no time. And so I told this, at the beginning when I started a book club, I was telling these women, 15 minutes is all you need.
In a day?
In a day. 15 minutes in the morning, because you want to ground yourself. You want to ground yourself. You can redeem 15 minutes, yeah? And then redeem 15 minutes. These are the two time frames that are under your control.
Okay.
You can decide to have 15 minutes, Crystal.
In the morning and before bed?
Yeah, before bed. Why? In the morning, even when you have children to take to school, you have all these things, you have to rush to work. Personally, that time became my car time. I would park at office. Before I enter office, I read my book. I read my book, I read my devotional at that time, and then start my day. That is my control. No one can control that time. Even with a lot of drama and all that and kids refusing to come out of cars.
But that was your time.
When I park, it's not my boss's time. It's not my family time. It's my time. And many of the women have let go of that time.
Yeah.
And that's why life is falling apart. And that's why depression is on the rise. Anxiety is on the rise. Why? Because we don't slow down. Yeah? We don't slow down. So when you find people are in their cars, but they're on their phones, that is not me time. You catching up with all the TikToks that happened at night while you were asleep. It's not me time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
go into your WhatsApp groups.
And you're like, oh my God, this conversation. As in, I must make a contribution. I must congratulate someone's birthday. Then already the noise is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you haven't even started the day. So what I'm saying is that in the morning, be intentional about the 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Yeah. Before you enter into the world, before you give yourself to the world. What is important to you? For me, it's having my morning devotion, yeah? Because if COVID has taught us anything, you don't control. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to you, Crystal.
Yes.
It is not. We have grand plans. We have things on our vision boards. But it's at the end of the day, it's God who decides whether you face tomorrow. That's it. So starting the day with gratitude, yeah? You know, when you start thanking God, that God, I thank you that I get to work. There's a time I took this bus. I sat, and there was no single happy person on that bus.
Oh no! You looked around and you're like, oh my gosh.
Everyone
just looked stressed and miserable.
Stressed, miserable, tired. Not even one person looked like they had a little joy in their life.
And this was in the morning.
Yes. So if you're in your car, you don't get to see. You don't get to see how other people, live. So when you see how people are, you know, when they've been fighting to get to the bus, they don't have money, yeah? They don't have money, they don't have anything. So for you're complaining that you don't have cornflakes to take home, or the husband didn't leave enough kameza, you know, for you, enough money for your upkeep, and you're sulking, and you're doing all these. You're grateful. You're like, you know, I'm grateful that I get to go to the supermarket and buy some groceries.
Yeah.
You know, when you start your day by thanking God for the new day, it changes the trajectory of your day. It does. So you get that time, read. And then sometimes I redeem my lunch hours. Yeah, when I get to eat, and then I scribble through my pages and I read. You replace the office gossip, yeah?
You remove yourself from certain
toxic environments, you know, discussing who got what raise and how they did not deserve it.
Yeah.
You redeem that time. But then at night, after putting kids to sleep, after all that, you end the day with, you know, reading. You just need to create that culture of self-educating.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, when I read, I don't read like, I read to self-educate.
Yeah.
I read with a notebook. I read with a highlighter. Yeah. And I also replace, because books are not cheap.
Exactly.
They're not cheap.
That's also another thing people say, but how do you buy all these books?
I can't read on my phone. The font is too small. But you can afford to buy a handbag every month.
Yeah.
You can afford to buy all these things. Yeah. For me, I reward myself with a book every month. Just that.
Yeah.
I go to a restock. I ask where are the new bestsellers, where this, which book is selling, you know, what would you recommend? Then they'll tell you that, you know, I see people buying this, I see this. So, you know, and sometimes I go with the name on off head. I'm like, I'm looking for this book. So I spend that 100,000, that 95,000 for that book. That's how I reward myself. Yeah, every month. I can reward myself with shoes, with but that's how I reward myself.
Also with books you can always gift as well.
Yes.
They're not meant to go in your shelf and stay there.
Yeah, so even when we are launching the book club, I think I have given away over 100 books. Like I randomly. Yeah. I give out books every single time. Why? And I don't give out because I don't want, because in my shelf they're already like over 500. That I will not give away.
Well, like these ones are mine.
Yes, but there are books that I read, like The Purpose-Driven Life is a gift I give people on their birthdays. Yeah. I just gift it. So I go and buy the same book and give it to someone else.
Because it was life-changing.
Because it was life-changing for me. So I buy it and give it to someone else. Then it depends on how, you know, what the season that someone is going through. So I find a book and give it, and I give it. I give newlyweds The Power of a Praying Wife as a gift. I want meaningful gifts, so I give books as a gift. And someone tells you, Claire, my life was falling apart. I remembered your gift. I went back and started saying, you know, let me pray for this man instead of cursing him out, cursing the demons out of him. Let me just, you know, let me just, you know, pray like this. So I give out the books because they have served me well. And I've created cultures, and I've seen women. I am telling you, Crystal, I have seen women's lives transform because of redeeming those 15 minutes. Yeah, calming yourself down. Sometimes it takes a little cry in the car.
Yeah.
You get to the car, the windows are up, and you give a good wail. You're like, God, if you don't save me now, things are falling apart. Sometimes you just need those prayers. Yeah. You just need, and that is part of healing. It is part of that. If you allow your emotions to come out, and you say,
and you lose control of them.
Yes, you're like, I need help. Yeah. Bring people who will help me. Bring someone who will hold my hand in this situation. Yeah. And I've seen women lift themselves up. This year we launched The Power of You with two other friends of mine. Okay.
The Power of You?
The Power of You. Okay. The Power of You. We do speaking engagements, online and sometimes physical. And the reason, as we say, The Power of You, there are many things that you can do, Crystal, to change your life. And one of the things is the power of your words.
Yeah.
The power of reflection, the power of vision, the power of gratitude. Remember that all those things have nothing to do with your boss,
Yes.
or your company where you work.
No.
So we are saying that you have the power to do something about your situation. Yeah? The power of habits. Yes, there is power in creating habits. Crystal, what habit have you formed as Crystal? Now that habit, it could be exercise, it could be gratitude, it could be reading, it could be positive talk, it could be, the hardest thing I had, it was sort of like a vice that I had. I could never compliment someone. I just
Like the words would just get stuck?
They could, I just didn't have to say you had a nice dress, did I?
Okay.
Yeah, as in
You just didn't think it was important?
I just didn't think it was important. And so I created a habit that every single time a woman comes before me, I will affirm them. When we met
And
in
you
the
don't know
morning,
how you can lift someone
you
up
see,
just
in
by that.
the morning, the first thing I say to you, I say, do you look this good all the time? So now it has become a habit that it just comes out. Every time I go to office, I see she has a nice shoe, she's looking good. Oh, she has just, done her hair. I find ways of saying something positive. Yeah. And you'll find that maybe someone is struggling with their weight, struggling with their self-image. And because Klaire said something nice about how they look, it lifts their day.
Yeah.
So with time, there was a silent shift.
Yeah.
And so I said, no. Something must give. So I talked to another lady, and she told me, when was the last time you told your husband, I love you? He knows I love it. Been married 18 years.
You don't need to say it.
I don't need to say it. Say no. Say it. So the first time I said it, we've been married. That was around 15 years in marriage. And the words I love him. He's the love of my life. But the words are simply not coming out of my mouth. So I started with a lot of pain. I was like, I love you.
He also looked at you like, is everything okay?
Yeah, like, okay. Then the next day, I love you. And it's like, me too. Me too. So with time,
It became easier.
I created that habit, of being able to greet my husband in the morning and tell him I love you before I leave. And eventually, he started responding. Now he says it even before I say it. As in it has become, and I always say it saved my marriage, because it brought an emotional connection, because we managed to verbalize this. So the power of words, it's very, very powerful, power of words. And it moves away from marriage and goes into our workspace. When someone does a good job, do you actually acknowledge that, oh my God, their report is always on time? Yeah, it may be having some issues, but they mind the time that they brought the report. They mind, So we need to be intentional about the things that we say, These are things that are going to form our lives right now. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. So I know we have to wrap up soon. I have to let you go back to your busy life. Just tell me, how can someone be part of the book club? How many women are in the book club now?
We have 540.
540.
540 women.
Wow.
Part of the,
this is in
book club.
Uganda and other countries as well.
Yes.
So how can someone be part of the book club?
If you want to be part of the book club, there's a subscription of 50,000 a year.
Oh, that's fair.
We are on Telegram.
Okay.
We're on Telegram. It's a women only thing. And our theme or objective is to help women grow through reading.
Yes.
And in order for you to join, you go to the website, Project Girls for Girls, and you go to how to join. In there, you'll go through a session for 6 weeks. In that session, we take you through some of the pillars of leadership. We talk about courageous leadership. We talk about ethics. We talk about building trust with your team. And so through that, after that session, then you're automatically brought onto the book club.
All right.
Yes, I input you on the book club.
Okay.
So we get to read one book a month, and then we review it.
A year.
Yeah, we review it at the end of the month. Every first Friday we have a review, an online review, where we talk about the highlights of the book. So in January this month, we are currently reading Speech. It's a book written by a Nigerian lady, but she lives in the US, and she's talking about the simplicity of creativity.
Okay.
Yeah, because she has made millions of shillings and a whole career around cycling, a stationary bike. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel where she just amps people up as they're exercising and sweating and all that. So she has brought joy back into exercising because she found a gap that exercise had become a burden.
Yeah.
Now she brought that connection of having your me time, you're enjoying, you get to laugh, you get to sing, you get to sweat while exercising. And she has managed to build an empire out of that.
Imagine.
So she shows the simplicity of whatever idea that you come up with. Whatever idea you have, Crystal, if it's of service to someone else, God will bless it.
True.
And you will be able to make it work.
Okay.
If it's of service,
that is
if
important.
Claire's life makeover is of service to someone, it will grow and it will work. So if the conversations that you're having right now, if someone listens to our interview and their lives have transformed, Crystal, that is your service. So the conversations must continue because someone is waiting for you to speak. Someone's waiting for you to hear your story. Someone's waiting to see the next guest. Maybe that next guest may be able to speak to someone. Yeah.
And the Power of You? You said you just launched it.
Yes, the Power of You. We are right now going into the corporate spaces.
Okay.
Yes, we are going to, on the 23rd, we are going to have an engagement with the law community. And we just had an engagement with KCB Bank. Okay. And we met a group of women, 40 women, and we took them through the session. Now, in order for you to get to book us, you can inbox me on my LinkedIn. Okay. I'm not big on social media, but I'm active on LinkedIn because that's my space.
That's the space that works for you.
I can control. There's a bit of discipline. There's a bit of discipline. You know, Twitter, even good morning.
I have to be honest, these days I am just blocking
Really?
on Twitter.
Oh my
because
goodness.
I'm like, I don't want to be part of these conversations. I don't want this energy on my timeline.
Yes.
So I'm just blocking people.
Yeah, yeah. So in LinkedIn, you just inbox me. My account is Klaire Komakech. So you just inbox me and say, you know, I would want to have an engagement with you. Okay. And then we can have that discussion.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, Claire, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Crystal.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I love that you share your story.
Yes.
Keep sharing, please.
Yeah.
As you're growing, we're growing with you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if all women could share their stories, there is power. There is power in hearing someone's story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you for welcoming me to your channel.
And have a beautiful 2023.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It's going to be my best year yet.
There you go.
Best year yet.
That is the attitude.